Well, this is a brass tumbler, and once you fire your ammunition, you keep the brass, and you want to reuse it. Now, you really don't have to. Like, you can look at this brass; it's pretty clean. You know, this is from a 357 Magnum pistol, and you really don't need to clean them again, to tell you the truth. But sometimes you might find brass on the range. It's been used and discarded. It's been there a couple days or a couple weeks, and it's kind of like tarnished. And that type of stuff, the tarnish actually could be a problem with feeding into the weapon, or the sizing of the brass itself. Even though you can size it, it's it's better to clean it up first, get it nice like brand new. So these are 357s, and they'll go in here, right? Just a tumbler. Basically, I'll turn it on. I'll see what I'll put a little bit in at a time, and it's just a vibratory type thing. Turn it on. See? And you don't want to put too much in here. Like, if you could see a little bit of them at the top like that, that's about right. You don't want to put so many that it looks like mostly brass, because then it's not going to work that good. Now I'm going to shut it off, and actually you put the lid on it, because what happens while you put the lid on it, it's not because the stuff will pop out the top. It's because the media, it's actually walnut shells or corn cob or something. Depends on what the hell it is, but it's like a light abrasion, but there's a polish in it, and the reason you keep the lid on it is because the polish will dry out. So now you notice the color of that was kind of like a light brown color, but you put this on pretty tight too. Not super tight, but tight enough so it don't come loose. But the color of it's like a brown color. And just shut it off. But the color of it's like a light tan color basically. But when it gets to be like a brown color, you want to change it. But also in the interim, say you don't use this polish a while, you can reactivate it with putting a couple tablespoons or a few tablespoons of like polish in there. And it's a special type of polish. I usually use Flitz or Dillon. It's a special type of polish. Actually, you can use kind of like automotive polish too. I mean, you really could. I mean, it doesn't have to be for this, but it's really made for this. There's certain types of polish that's like liquid you can actually use that just automotive polish, like chrome polish and stuff, if you don't have anything. But you don't put too much in it where it's greasy. But what happens is the media dries out, and where the media wears out, it doesn't really wear out. It gets so damn dirty that it's not really cleaning up the brass. So what you do is, you basically throw it away. And like I have another bag of it right here, and then I have another freaking box of it. And basically, I'll leave this on. Actually, it's, this would probably take a couple hours to be like super shiny clean, but I might leave it on like 8 hours or something like that, and it'll be really clean. Then the next step after this is deep prime the ammunition. But you want to start out with clean stuff. And this is the simple, easy way to clean it. You get a tumbler like this. You put the media in it, which looks like it's either corn cob or walnut shells, and it does last a long time. It just gets dirty after a while. So like if I'm using I'm putting fairly clean brass in this stuff, the media is not going to get dirty. It's going to show like it's like if you find brass on the range that's been fired, it's been sitting out and it got tarnished pretty bad. Well, that'll make the media get bad, dirtier faster. So it depends on how clean the brass is when you first put it in, how long the media will last. But this is your number one step, and you don't have to do this, but it's smart to do. So a lot of times I keep the brass in these like either coffee containers, plastic ones and stuff like that. You keep them separate. You can mix different types of brass in here, but the problem is you have to kind of separate them out and stuff. So I usually just do one caliber at a time to keep it simple. So I'll just leave this on, and that's the first step of reloading, keeping the brass, get the brass nice and clean. Use a tumbler on it. And like I said, you can reactivate the media by putting a polish in it. I'll use Flitz brand or Dillon brand. But there's a couple I don't want to say this, but if you don't have anything and you got to order it, you can use like an automotive style polish, like a regular liquid polish, not a wax, with an actual abrasive polish. You put a little bit in it. You don't need that much. It's like this whole big thing, a couple tablespoons would be plenty to reactivate it, so that's all you would need. And I'm not going to use this stuff in there because that's like basically brand new media. But say you don't have the polish was basically dried out, something like this would probably work. Turtle wax, chrome polish, it's like real liquidy, you know, and it's designed for like taking off tarnish and stuff. This would, you know, just a little bit of this would probably work pretty good in that too, as a suggestion. I don't use this, I actually use the regular stuff. I don't actually use this, but you know, say you didn't have something on hand to rejuvenate this stuff, this wouldn't be a bad product to use.